Squeaky and the Great Sea Shindig. Deep beneath the shimmering blue waves lived a sponge named Squeaky. He wasn't just any sponge, he was the most optimistic chef in the ocean. Today was a big day. Squeaky was joining 10 famous monster trainers on a grand quest to find the golden coral. "Ropes are ready!" shouted Harry, checking the knots with a big grin. Squeaky bounced on his heels, clutching his favorite spatula.
"Ropes are ready!" Whip! Swoop!
The ship, the Salty Scallop, set sail with a splash. Ethan stood at the bow, holding a small round ball and looking out at the horizon. "Full speed ahead!" he cheered. Beside him, Maxwell checked the ship's wheel. They were a team, and nothing could stop them. Or so they thought. The sun was bright, and the adventure was finally beginning. A few hours later, things got a bit confusing. Ivy was holding the ancient map, but she was holding it sideways. Vivian leaned over her shoulder, trying to help. "I think we should turn left at the giant octopus," Ivy said, tilting her head. Vivian pointed in the opposite direction. "No, the map says to go toward the singing seaweed." Because the map was confusing, the trainers started to get grumpy. Isaiah and Ada were looking at a compass that seemed to be spinning in circles. "It's your turn to read it," Isaiah complained, crossing his arms. Ada shook her head. "I read it last time and you said I was wrong." The happy mood on the ship was starting to sink faster than a heavy anchor. Down in the ship's galley, Squeaky was trying to make kelp cakes to cheer everyone up. But the argument upstairs was so loud, he got distracted and burned the snacks. "Oh, pickles!" Squeaky cried as smoke filled the room. Colin walked in, smelling the burnt food. "Great, now we have no snacks and we're lost," Colin groaned, feeling very hungry and tired. Soon, everyone was arguing at once. It was a giant hullabaloo. Wesley and Sam were shouting the loudest. "It's your fault we're going in circles," Wesley yelled, pointing at the sea. Sam adjusted his yellow hat and yelled back, "I didn't choose the path, you did." Nobody was listening, and the Salty Scallop was drifting toward a dark, stormy patch of water. Suddenly, the sky turned dark, and the wind began to howl. A giant wave rocked the ship. Harry and Ethan grabbed onto the railing as hard as they could. "The storm is too strong," Harry yelled over the wind. The trainers were so busy being mad at each other that they hadn't noticed the weather changing. They were scared and didn't know what to do. Squeaky wobbled up to the deck, balancing his spatula. He saw Maxwell trying to hold the wheel alone. "Listen," Squeaky squeaked loudly. "Arguing is like a leaky boat. It won't take us anywhere. We have to talk nicely and work together." Maxwell looked at the little sponge and realized Squeaky was right. Being angry wasn't helping them fix the mistakes.
"On 3, pull!"
The trainers stopped shouting and started listening. Ivy and Vivian teamed up to pull the heavy ropes for the sails. "On 3, pull!" Ivy shouted. Vivian nodded, timing her movements perfectly with Ivy's. By talking to each other instead of yelling, they managed to turn the sails and catch the wind, pulling the ship away from the dangerous rocks.
"Look, if we hold it flat, the needle stays still. The needle stays still."
"You're right! And there it is, the golden coral."
Isaiah and Ada looked at the compass again, but this time they helped each other. "Look, if we hold it flat, the needle stays still," Ada pointed out. Isaiah smiled. "You're right, and there it is, the golden coral." Just ahead, a beautiful, glowing light appeared beneath the waves. They had found it by working as a team and sharing their ideas quietly. The storm passed and the sun came out again. Squeaky made a fresh batch of kelp cakes that weren't burnt at all. He served a giant plate to Sam, who was feeling much better. "I'm sorry I yelled earlier," Sam said. Squeaky bounced happily. "Apologies are the best seasoning for any meal," he replied. Everyone felt warm and happy inside. Before heading home, the group gathered on the deck for a commemorative photo to remember their lesson. Wesley and Colin stood together, laughing about the great map mystery. They learned that while everyone makes mistakes, communication and teamwork are the real treasures of the ocean.
They learned that while everyone makes mistakes, and I'll pull from here, communication and teamwork are the real treasures of the ocean.